To a couple of comments, Ramon. It is truly an outstanding contribution that Malaysia has decided to make, and we're very excited by that. It truly does reflect the regional approach that we've tried to instill in this summit spirit, and I hope in years and years to come, when I'm retired somewhere, that I can see a list of all ASEAN countries having hosted this summit. So congratulations and thank you. I thought I'd go back in history before I go forward to just reflect on why the summit was actually created in the first place and what were some of its founding principles. It was really about a credible and relevant forum. We wanted to operationalise FATF and Egmont considerations and frameworks. We wanted a commitment from this body to use FATF and Egmont and to respond more effectively to the threats at a regional level that contribute to global solutions. We wanted a diversity of contributors. So what we didn't need was just FIUs around the table. We have that. What we wanted was to create an environment where FIUs, policy agencies, legislative agencies, private sector, law enforcement, national security, academia and think tanks could come together in a safe haven and speak freely. We wanted it to be outcomes focused and build a coalition of partners that dare to think differently. Some forums that we attend do not allow us to do that. They are by their nature and by their restraints conservative. And that's okay. Some of them need to be. They deal with very sensitive international issues. But we also wanted this forum and its participants to be prepared to be challenged. There's no use coming here with a shut mind. We wanted this to be a summit that does what it says it was going to do. The summit is not a policy or legislative body. That is and always should be the domain of FATF. We can, however, contribute where appropriate and where sought to contribute to relevant bodies, including FATF and Egmont. The benefit for us is that we focus on pragmatic operational initiatives on a voluntary basis. Just as an example, and beyond the statement, already before we even conclude this summit, I can say to you that our ICE working group will explore standing up a regional hackathon. Okay? Terms that are normally not used in law enforcement, national security, intelligence, regulatory arenas. It's going to be a virtual meeting of our technical experts to engage in collaborative computer programming and analysis on digital identity and cross-border movements. Thomson Reuters has put forward that we're going to use its blockchain platform to test this theory. We want to understand whether blockchain will be the solution to cross-border movement potentially. We want to understand how we build capability together using potentially the blockchain platform. And we want to see whether the blockchain platform can also increase our thinking around how we share information securely and in real time. It might not come as a surprise to you, but there have been over 100 bilateral meetings conducted over the last 4 days between countries who otherwise might not have had that opportunity. We've had several MOUs signed during the summit, a testament to the commitment to collaboration. There's been international recognition that the work we are doing is important. And the fact that we're raising the profile about terrorism financing and helping educate the community by the work that we're doing. And of course, sharing our work with other regional FIUs, bodies, and of course, as I've mentioned, where appropriate, contributing to FATF and Egmont. I want to recognise particularly the PPATK, led by Dr. Pak Yusuf and Pak Agus, for the hospitality, professionalism and support. When we started the first summit in Sydney and we convened a discussion about its future, we set ourselves an objective that, as proud as I was of the first summit being held in Sydney, our success story would be that the next summit held in Indonesia would be better. And I'm prepared to concede that this has been an outstanding summit, and my compliments to Indonesia for its hospitality. And I'll get a little bit personal from a Team Australia perspective and use this opportunity to recognise the broad team that is Australia and that it has contributed. AUSTRAC is a very small agency with a very small budget. We could not play the role that we have played without additional financial support from a number of my partner agencies. And I want to recognise the Attorney General's Department, of which we are one of the portfolios, the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, the Department of Immigration and Border Protection, and of course our Prime Minister and Cabinet. So I want to thank those agencies, and I think it should be acknowledged that their financial contribution has allowed AUSTRAC to play the partnership role with PPATK. I also want to recognise delegates from the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation, the Australian Federal Police, the Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission, the Australian Taxation Office and South Australian Police for investing in coming here and enriching this summit for us all. So my very special thanks to all of you. I want to recognise support from the Australian Embassy and the Bali Consulate General. I want to recognise representatives from the private sector from Australia, particularly Alex Gandura, and of course, whilst not himself from Australia, we're working on that, Bob Shukai from Thomson Reuters, as well as representatives from PricewaterhouseCoopers, Western Union, Commonwealth Bank, MoneyGram and Westpac. I would like to think that one day, and as impressive as that list of private sector might sound, it is far too small. That if we are genuine in our desire to be challenged, genuine in our desire for diversity of thinking, one day half of this room should be made up by the private sector, if we are serious about tackling the problems that we face in the 21st century. I want to also acknowledge participants from academia and think tanks, including ASPI, particularly David, Jacinta and Shane. We have a very close relationship. We use ASPI to challenge ourselves, and challenge us they do. That's the quality of the relationship, and thank you. Tom, where are you? From RUSI, thank you for your contribution. It's great to have two competing think tanks in the room. I love the tension, and it's to our benefit. So fantastic to have you here as well, giving us the very much a European and global perspective, complementing ASPI's Australia and global perspective. I want to recognise the 240 colleagues that have registered and been here over the last 4 days. Delegates from 25 countries from the region and around the world, including 10 ASEAN representative countries. I want to also acknowledge international and non-government organisations. I want to recognise Interpol, the UNODC, UNCTD, and of course, as I've mentioned earlier, the APG. I want to thank you all because it is the diversity, the rich tapestry of people that we have here that actually is what the credibility and relevance of this forum is all about. As Pak Yusuf said, thank you for travelling, some of you across the globe, to be here. Can we wish you safe travels back to your home and to your families. Thank you.